Provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie.
Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. For more information on how the CCIDA can assist your business, visit choosechq.com.
From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
The Hofbrauhaus in downtown Buffalo invites all our friends from Chautauqua County to experience craft beer, Bavarian food, and live entertainment. Check us out on our Facebook page and website for family-friendly events throughout the year.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and thanks for joining us here at Chautauqua Sunrise on Access Chautauqua, Channel 1301 Spectrum. Hope you're doing well. Well, Justin, you enjoying this warm weather?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Holy cow. You know, we were talking the other day. I was chatting online with my guest today, and we were all saying that either we got allergies or we got the barometric pressure is driving our sinuses crazy. We complain about everything, don't we? If it's too cold, we're complaining. If it's too hot, we complain. If it's too... So it's just part of the seasonal changes, I guess. But anyways, I hope you're doing well. And tomorrow, your sinuses are going to go crazy again because it's going to drop, 30 degrees. So hopefully it levels off here soon. Well, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We're streaming live as always. And Natalia in Kiev, hello. Hope you and your friends are safe and doing all right. We don't hear too much about you guys lately because there's so much other stuff going on. But nonetheless, we still keep you all in our thoughts. James in Kenya, Aaron Cochran's friend, if you're watching, good morning from here in Mayville, New York to over in Africa. So I hope you're doing well. And to my listeners, use my radio voice here now, WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Thanks for checking in with us. We got a cool show today. We're going to be talking about the Chamber of Commerce here in Chautauqua County. And I'm a card-carrying, dues-paying member, and we are very proud to be part of the Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to be going into great depth about what it's all about and what it offers the community and so forth. So stick around. Let's see. My cousins, friends over in Europe, if you're watching, good afternoon. Let's see. If you are watching in Australia, I guess we decided it's still today there, but it could be tomorrow before I know it. So I don't know. It's tomorrow, you think, Jeff? Okay. I'll have to check that one out. He's giving me some heads up here. Throughout the show, if you have a question or comment, of course, I'm not going to keep going through all this every time, but if you have something you want to share with us, give us a call. And here comes the number, 716-753-5225. And throughout the week, if you have an announcement, something you want to share with us. Posters are good. I like posters. But if not, just send us the narrative at Chautauqua Sunrise, all one word, at gmail.com. Chautauqua Sunrise at gmail.com. All right, so join us in the conversation. It's midnight in Sydney. So like in 1 minute from now, it's going to be tomorrow, I take it. I don't know. It's like I get confused. I'm still dealing with daylight savings time. All right, so let's get together with some opening comments here. So it's April. I don't know how that happened. It seemed like forever we were in winter, and now grass is greening. I don't see any snow. Flowers are popping up. In fact, there's one right behind my head here. There's a big old flower there. Was it a daffodil or narcissus? I can't tell what that is. Anyways, they're popping up, and I see hyacinths and daffodils, and I see our weeping cherries ready to pop, and just really good. This morning I was out walking Brody, my famous dog there in the beginning of the credits there, and there was a bird. I like to watch birds, and I could not figure this bird out. I'm thinking maybe it was a cardinal. I don't know, but this thing was making all kinds of sounds. It was really, really cool, and I could hear it calling to its mate, perhaps, that was farther out into the woods. And just the mornings are so much alive now. You know, you walk out in the middle of wintertime, it's almost like dead silent. But now everything's come alive again. I feel like a little kid. You know, it's like, how did this happen? It's only been happening forever, but it's refreshing to say the least. And then, of course, I don't know how you all are doing, but I always know it's spring when I have my official mouse in the house. I don't know how he got in. Barb yelled, "There's a mouse!" And Brody came up on it and jumped like a foot in the air. And, well, I caught him and put him outside. My grandkids were over the other day. Maybe they left the door open. I don't know. But those little guys, they can squeeze through anything. And anyways, I know it's officially spring when we have ants and mice running around. I mentioned ticks. I'm ahead of Brody now. I got 3. He only had 2. So I always mention this because just yesterday in the Post-Journal, I think it was, there was an article on ticks and what you got to do to prevent them and if you see them on you and stuff like that. It's kind of serious stuff. Lyme disease is nothing to mess with, and sometimes they do have them on them, and you could contract it. So be careful with that. I do see that they're coming out with some kind of a vaccine for Lyme disease, and I'm going to watch that very carefully. I could be very interested in that. One of my guests, John Weston from Panama Rocks, he told me, so it's no secret, that he's had Lyme disease before, and it's not fun. I know a number of people have had it. So just be cautious, and they're really small. We do tick checks here pretty regularly right now, and they're out in the grass and weeds and things like that. So be careful with that. I don't usually do this, but I'm kind of excited about this. Next week, Randy is going to be filling in for me as host, and Barb and I are going to take a little breather. But we got 2 lovely ladies that are going to be coming on, Ellen Cafaro and Shirley Vandenberg. They are the Chautauqua County Volunteers of the Year. And you're going to meet them and find out all the good work they're doing with the Office for Aging Services and the various groups for senior citizens and so forth. So Ellen and Shirley, I'm going to try to call you from where I am, destination to be determined at that point in time. I'm not going to tell you now. I might tell you when I call in next Saturday. But anyways, this is going to be a fun show, and I'm looking forward to having them here. All right, so let's get to some announcements, and my guest is patiently waiting for me to be quiet and to come on. So let's see what we got here. Oh, this is an interesting one. I don't know if we've ever announced this one. Oh, I see what it is in connection with. All right. During National Humor Month, experience the power of laughter and connection. Caring for someone with memory loss. Okay, so this is the memory cafe that we've talked about. I didn't know it was National Humor Month, though. All right, caring for someone with memory loss can be challenging, and laughter can help. April marks National Humor Month, a meaningful reminder of the humor can play in connection and well-being. Our free award-winning Memory Cafe, held the first Monday of each month, welcomes individuals living with dementia or Alzheimer's, along with caregivers, family members, and care partners of all ages. These monthly gatherings create meaningful experiences for individuals living with memory loss, while offering caregivers and family members a comforting space to relax, connect, and feel supported. providing a break from daily routines and reminding everyone that they're not alone on this journey. The next Memory Cafe will take place, this is coming up, Monday, April 6th, so not today, but 2 days from today, on Monday, an opportunity to share in laughter, connection, and support of a welcoming community. All right, so how's this work? Reservations for this and all Memory Cafes is encouraged. Space is limited. Learn more and register at Comedy Center, all one word, comedycenter.org, and look for Memory Cafe. So that's going to be April 6th. You check in at 10 a.m. at the museum. You can have a little look around. And then 11 a.m., enjoy refreshments, great company, and a fun, engaging program. And guess what? Absolutely free. Now, is that a community that loves their folks or not? This is a great program. I know it's won some awards already, so good on them, the Comedy Center, for all the good work you're doing. So check that out, April 6th at the Comedy Center. All right, we have a slide coming up right now. Let's see what we got here. Besides all that, we have some movies, all right? Let's see here. I gotta just find my place here. Goat. That's the name of it. I didn't make it up. Goat. Follows Will, a small goat with big dreams who gets a once-in-a-lifetime shot to join the pros and play roarball. I don't know. A high-intensity, co-ed, full-contact sport dominated by the fastest, fiercest animals in the world. Will's new teammates aren't thrilled about having a little goat on their roster, but Will is determined to revolutionize the sport and prove once and for all that smalls can ball. It's 100 minutes long, and it's, let's see here, PG. So for everybody, $7 at the door, $9 online, okay? And so you can go to the Regina at 116 East 3rd Street in Jamestown, and that's from 2 to 3:40, and that's also on Monday, April 6th. So the kids are home for the Easter. You might check it out. All right, and then Toast, the ultimate bread experience. This is the next day, April 7th. This is from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Over their career, Bread scored 13 hits on Billboard's Top 100. Justin, I bet you never heard of Bread, huh? You ever? It's a band. Two surviving members of Bread, David Gates and Rob Royer, are happily retired and enjoying their time with family and the fruits of their musical careers. Enter Toast, the ultimate bread experience who does everything possible to keep the legacy of Bread alive. With a surprising fidelity rarely heard from a live tribute band, their sound is often described as spot on to the original recordings. Audiences everywhere rave about closely their live performances sound like cherished records they listened to back in the day. One of my favorites is The Guitar Man. You know, sort of like my tribute. Toast will take you on a journey back in time, engaging in a spectrum of emotions, from the tender moments that tug on the heartstrings to the upbeat classics that compel you to jump out of your seat and dance. And when combined with truly timeless music, their concert will rise to the top of your absolute favorite concerts of all time. All right, so tickets are a particular range, depending on where you sit, of course, is $34 to $63. All right, and hang on a minute. Now, wait a minute. Am I getting this right? I believe so, all right? And then, let's see what else we got here. Then, okay, yeah, that's April 7th. Okay, yep, 34 to 63. You gotta see what I'm looking at. It's a little broken up. Okay, then Friday, April 10th at 7 p.m. to 9:16 p.m., we've got something called A Passionate and Tumultuous Love Story set against the backdrop of the Yorkshire moors, exploring the intense and destructive relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine Earnshaw, starring Academy Award nominee Margot Robbie, opposite this particular nominee, Jacob Elordi. The film also stars alongside Oscar nominee Hong Chow, Shazad Latif, Alison Oliver, Martin Clunes, and Ewan Mitchell. It's rated 136 minutes. And the name of the movie is Wuthering Heights. It's not even on this printout here. All right, so that's a famous. I see it on the screens there, but it's actually not written on my paper here. Anyways, I've heard pretty good reviews on this, and with all those possible awardees, it should be really good. So that's April 10th, coming up at 7 p.m. All right, let's go on to the next one. This is a serious one. All right, Alcohol Awareness Month was formally sponsored by the National Council of Alcohol and Drug Dependence, established in 1987 with the aim of raising awareness, outlining treatments available, and aiming to reduce the social stigma associated with alcoholism. Alcoholism, addiction, and misuse affects thousands of lives across the country and around the world for that matter. Some notable statistics on alcohol include, these are sad, according to 2022, 137.4 million current alcohol users aged 12 or older, 61.2 million people reported past month binge drinking, 834,000 youth ages 12 to 17, and 60.3 million adults 18 and over reported binge drinking in the past month. This was in 2022. And it goes on to say, among people ages 12 to 17 in that year, 6.83%, or 1.8 million youth, were alcohol users. 1.8 million youth ages 12 to 17 reported they drank alcohol in the past month. Whew! 135 million adults or older reported they drank alcohol in the past month. Now, we're not saying this is bad, but when it's too excessive, then we got issues. So now, excessive alcohol use can increase a person's risk of stroke, liver cirrhosis, alcoholic hepatitis, cancer, and other serious conditions. Again, we're talking about excessive. We're not talking about that drink, once a week or whatever, something with dinner. Excessive alcohol can also lead to risk-taking behaviors, including driving while impaired. And then in 2021, the United States Department of Transportation reported that 37 people in the United States die in vehicle crashes that involve an alcohol-impaired driver daily. Every day, 37 people die from some type of alcohol-impaired driving situation. That's staggering. By making people aware of the situation and viable solutions and treatment available, Alcohol Awareness Month aims to reduce the pain and suffering alcohol abuse causes of people's lives and families. Okay, how can you participate? Let's see, part of the National Alcohol Awareness Month, they're encouraging the public to spend 72 hours without alcohol. Try that. Make sure you and your family participate in this activity and monitor symptoms and discomfort or cravings within 3 days. I mean, if after 72 hours and you say, I gotta have a drink, might be time to have a little chat. Start conversations. It's your role as a responsible adult to initiate the conversations that nobody is willing to talk about. Speak with your friends and families who've noticed that someone is reliant on heavy drinking. As a parent, teach your children about alcohol misuse and help them build coping skills. Reach out to those that you know who are struggling, okay? And of course, throw clean parties. Use the month of April to throw alcohol-free, clean, and healthy parties for adults. Invite others, friends, and neighbors to enjoy gatherings without any trace of liquor. And then there's recipes for alcohol-free drinks. Boy, I'm going to make this up because I'm saying it the best I can. I don't even know what this is. Kombucha? You know what it is. I don't. Mocktails, club soda, or alcohol-free beer. Okay? So something to think about. Now, I personally know of two situations right now, personally, two different places in the world where a family is going through a huge uproar because one member of the family is abusing alcohol, violence, drunk driving, jail, some physical kinds of things going on, and it's ending up in divorce, selling houses, all kinds of lawyer fees. I mean, alcoholism is a serious thing. When I was growing up, my mom worked for an agency, a not-for-profit, that was all about alcoholism. It used to be called the Buffalo Area Council on Alcoholism. And now down here it's called Prevention Works, okay, same idea. And we used to get all the videos, we used to get all the literature, and so forth. Now, I'm just going to share something with you personal. I don't drink, and when I was growing up, I realized that alcoholism was part of the genetics in my family. We had at least one or two members in the generations above me that were alcoholics. Okay? I caught this early in my life because when I realized I could sit there back in college and drink a lot, and then I said, something's not right here. And so Barb and I, we don't drink. You do what you want, but we're saying is you got to be careful. And we're not saying don't drink. We're just saying drink moderately and don't abuse it, because it can tear up you and your family and so forth. So I speak from personal experience, seeing things that are going on right around me all the time. So something to think about. All right, a couple quick things here. Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth, sometimes called CPEG, is announcing several updates for Paint Chautauqua. Chautauqua County's public art initiative brings vibrant murals, creative placemaking, and cultural tourism to local communities. For 2026, Paint Chautauqua will be, or CHQ, will be implementing 2 mural projects that will continue to expand the county's public art footprint. The locations will take place in Dunkirk in the Coburn Block, 123 Central Avenue, and the Bemis Point at the Village Hall at 13 Albertus Avenue. So these things are really cool. There's a couple in Westfield. If you ever go down into Erie, Pennsylvania, you see some of the neighborhoods have these murals. Just way, way cool. You want to know more information about that, go to CHQ Chamber. No, wait a minute. go.chqchamber.org. Did I get that right? So it's go.chqchamber, all one word, .org. That's at the very end. And you can find out more information about all this sort of thing. And maybe we'll be talking about that here shortly. All right, so that's very cool. To drive through a town and see these murals is just outstanding. And the ones in Westfield are unbelievable. All right, real quick, we're going to Hopra up in Buffalo, one of my underwriters, and they just want you to know that they're having a special buffet tomorrow. We got a slide 17, Jeff, on that? I know, there it is. Okay, so that's going on, and if you're interested, check them out. Adults $48, kids $28, and for those who are listening, you can probably check it out if you want tomorrow. For those on the radio, too late, but it's tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it's just a never-ending list of all kinds of unbelievable things they're going to be serving tomorrow. Opera up in Buffalo. And let's go to Westfield, our last slide. Today's the Bunny Hop in Westfield, and they have Easter egg hunt, and they got things going on in all the different places. That's going to start in about, I don't even know what time it is, about an hour and a half from now, and you're going to have things that you are looking for, a golden egg, and there's crafts and things at the library and all the Grape Discovery Center and so forth. And again, for those who are listening on the radio, we talked about this last week, the week before, but Peaceful Designs, Bloom Junes, Living Glass, Power Sports, Westfield Market Space, Tim Hortons, Grape Discovery Center, Franklin's Kettle Corn. It's just going to be a fun day in Westfield. So get down there, check it out, and do the bunny hop. All right, we're going to take a little breather. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We've got some good stuff. You know, that's a good reminder of bullying. And, you know, we think of bullying in school, but people as adults still bully each other. So there's a bully somewhere just waiting to be a bully, and stand up to him. Don't be that person, just watch us. All right, enough on that. Dan Heitzenrater, welcome back to the show. It's been a long time. I don't even remember when was the last time you were on the show, but it's been a while. Yeah. And Sheila McCarthy Webster, she was on a number of years ago. So it's time we get back to it. And so you're representing, and you are the CEO and president of the Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce. How long have you been there?
Gosh, I'm coming up on 5 years this summer.
Holy cow!
I think.
Shame on us for not getting you here sooner.
Well, that's all right. I was said from the start, I'm going to use the excuse that I'm still new until I hit 5 years. So.
Oh, all right. So you're still all right.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that you're not there quite yet.
Yeah.
5 years. That's hard to believe. Well, welcome to the show. And as I mentioned earlier, we as a show are a member of the chamber, and very proud of that. You know, when I go about talking to people, I'll say to them, yeah, we're part of the community, we're part of the business community, and so forth. But before we get into the chamber, talk about yourself a little bit. Where do you come from? Where'd you go to school? Talk about your family, whatever you want to share.
Sure. Well, really just a Chautauqua County person my whole life. Born and raised, and went to Castanega Valley, Castanega Valley Cougars. Didn't really feel like I wanted to go away to college for any reason, so I went to Jamestown Community College for my first couple of years. Yep. Fantastic place. Transferred to Fredonia.
Good place.
And finished up at Fredonia. Great place as well.
I have one of my degrees from there.
Perfect. So, you know, and along the way have just kind of, you know, always worked locally and
so what was your first
experienced
job?
A lot of different things. My first job, I was a hydroceramic technician at the eatery in Jamestown.
What does that mean?
I washed the dishes.
Oh, that's like, I should have figured that one out.
Just give it a fancy
That's a great name.
Know? So,
okay.
But yeah, a lot of stops along the way. After I finished at Fredonia, had started getting involved, kind of volunteering politically and things like that. And my you know, degree track at Fredonia was history. Started out going for education, but shifted that with a political science minor. So I've always been interested in kind of history and government and that kind of level of leadership, I guess. And anyway, the path kind of led me to the county executive's office, working with Vince Horrigan originally.
I know Vince.
And obviously got a lot of great experience there. So worked with Vince.
Just with Vince, or did you work with?
I worked with Vince, and I worked with George Borello.
Oh, George.
When he was a county executive, and then I worked with PJ until I started at the chamber.
So, the chamber, Chautauqua County government, was that a huge jump for you?
Yeah, you know, it was kind of one of those things. So at the county executive's office, I was the executive assistant, which is an appointed position. And in those types of roles, whether it's that role or, you know, some of the department heads and things like that who are appointed, I always used to joke, you know, the county executive could have indigestion after breakfast and I'm out of a job, you know. So not that, you know, obviously I always worked hard and, you know, figured my work would speak for itself. But if that situation came up that I needed to find another job, I always had my eye on kind of who are the organizations that I worked with at the county that I, you know, thought might be a good fit for me, and really kind of believed in their work and their mission, just in case, you know, that happened someday. And so it kind of happened where Todd Tranum, my predecessor at the chamber, had announced his retirement, I think a year or so in advance. And when the chamber started their search, I thought, hey, this is a great opportunity. I got to throw my hat in the ring. I have no idea how this will turn out, but I want to at least try, and here we are today.
So you have a couple of cute little girls, daughters, so you want to do a shout out to at least the oldest one that might be listening?
Yeah, absolutely. Olive and Elle. So yeah, we've got our girls. My wife Jess and I live out in Frewsburg, and loving it. So
good. So executive assistant. So what does an executive assistant do for the county executive? That sounds like a everything job to me.
It kind of was an everything
I used to watch you,
yeah.
so I remember I've seen others in the past. So and now it's James.
Yeah, that's right. James is the new Dan. I'm the old James. We joke about that a little bit, but it kind of has been, at least in my experience, and I'm sure it all depends on, you know, the executive, But when I was in that role, a lot of my work focused on relationships, external relationships, or special projects. So I remember actually my first time, I think, being on the show here was talking about Chautauqua Thrive, back with Vince, an initiative that he had going on. And
that was a while.
And the Municipal Consolidation Efficiency Grant that we were working on at the time. So it was a lot of that, but a lot of, you know, again, my work were those relationships, whether it was with other municipal leaders, you know, towns and villages, or the business community, right? And that's where that interface with the Chamber of Commerce came in. As
a lot of press releases and things like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think I always remember seeing if Vince or whomever was talking, you were like just off to the side, for whatever reason, you were there, and I think that's what, Justin is sort of like my executive assistant,
Yeah.
Oh, you're laughing over there. But we all need somebody as our support, if something goes haywire, you're there for them. All right, so then you're at the Chamber of Commerce. So, we were kind of laughing about what maybe people have thought about what the Chamber of Commerce is, old white-haired guys sitting around smoking cigars and sipping brandies at some fancy restaurant talking business or something like that. It's not the way I look at it. What is the Chamber and what's it for? Well, I mean, what's the mission?
Yeah, well, our mission is to build vital connections, provide professional resources, and champion our local businesses across Chautauqua County. And you're exactly right. Like you said, we were joking earlier. I sometimes say, it's not a chamber of secrets, it's a chamber of commerce. Because there are a lot of folks who just maybe don't know exactly what the chamber is, right? You've heard of it, but unless you're involved, you're not sure. So we are a business association, and we certainly appreciate your membership.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a good example, too, that even though it's a business association, it doesn't have to be a large corporation or just a for-profit business. Nonprofits and really anyone who's operating an organization is at the end of the day running a business, right? Even if it doesn't feel that way, or the mission is a little different in a nonprofit than a for-profit, but there's operations you have to do, and those are the kinds of things that we want to be here to help with the resources we can provide, the connections we can hopefully make, and the way that we can promote organizations and businesses across Chautauqua County.
Okay, so let's look at the chamber from 30,000 feet. So first of all, where are you located?
So we have 2 office locations.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I kind of refer to it jokingly as headquarters, but the main office is in Jamestown, right in the heart of downtown, the corner of 3rd and Main, right across from Lucy Desi Museum. We also operate that location as a visitor information center in partnership with the Visitors Bureau and others. So that's kind of headquarters, and we're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. And then our second location is in Dunkirk at the SUNY Fredonia Center for Innovation and Economic Development, formerly known as the Incubator. Many folks still know it as. So we have an office location there, and I would say by appointment, but we typically are staffed there Tuesday through Fridays. It just depends on, obviously, what events and things we have going on that we may or may not have somebody, stationed elsewhere. So.
Okay, so help me with this one. So like, I don't know if I'm making this up or not, but it seems to me that there's branches, like Westfield or whatever. Am I close? Am I on the right track here?
Yeah, so that is part of our history, and we've gone through the last few years strategic planning and a rebranding, and we were lucky and thankful last year to go through a process with the Western New York Foundation called the ICAP study, which focuses on organizational capacity. So the Chamber has existed as a countywide organization. We just celebrated 25 years last year. So since the year 2000, and that's, thanks to the leadership and vision of Pam Leidick and others across the county at that time, when we had, basically this process of individual communities having their own chamber as its own corporation, and kind of seeing that model was not as feasible as far as the costs and the operations over time. So we became regional with the Northern Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce and the Jamestown Area Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay, so it's like you put them together.
Yeah, and then 2000 is when we became the Chautauqua County Chamber, and there's been iterations along the way. As you mentioned, for a long time we had sort of Mayville, Chautauqua, or Jamestown, or Dunkirk, or Hanover community chambers. And what we found through our strategic planning process was an opportunity to really strengthen our organizational identity and our kind of organizational brand, as we obviously want more people to understand what the chamber is, and that you're not just a member of this local chamber, you're a member of the Chautauqua County Chamber.
So how many locals are there?
Access. So as far as branding goes, we're just the CHQ Chamber, and that was part of our tagging on to that CHQ moniker that many people are.
Right, Jason Sample Company,
but we still are operating like monthly meetings and many efforts in 6. I always call it the 6 original, right? So Hanover, Dunkirk, Fredonia, Mayville, Chautauqua, Westfield, and Jamestown. And actually, we've started some local meetings in Falconer, and we're working with the folks in Lakewood to kind of plug into their meetings. So we're trying to really truly be countywide.
Holy cow. Okay, so historically then there were local chambers, and then you're sort of like the umbrella then.
Yeah. And again, I mean, a lot of that activity obviously happened before my time there, but that's exactly right. And one thing to just add to, again, if we're talking a really 30,000-foot view, so we are ourselves a nonprofit, again, organization, and we're not like affiliated with the U.S. Chamber. Sometimes we get that question, and obviously they're very engaged in lobbying, and people agree or disagree with their stances on things.
Business,
we are we are a 501c6 nonprofit operating here in Chautauqua County.
Okay, so let me see if I got this right. So you have branches under you, but they all belong to the same parentship.
Yeah, right. So any chamber member across Chautauqua County is a full-fledged member of the CHQ Chamber.
Okay, so for instance, the Westfield Chamber folks are part of Chautauqua County Chamber.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so it's just location and things like that.
Yep.
Do they work independently?
Not really, and again, that's something, there's been iterations over certainly the last 25 years, but we have a countywide board of directors that obviously kind of sets the course and advises the work of myself and our staff. But our staff is, the full staff works countywide, and we're here to support anybody wherever they are.
How many staff do you have?
Oh, gosh. Well, right now, you mentioned at the top of the show, Sheila Webster was on not too long ago, but Sheila just retired like a week ago. So this is brand new. Wow. And we have a couple of our full-time staff members kind of moved into different positions. But why don't I run through everybody? Is that okay?
Go for it.
Let's do that. I'll give everybody a shout out, and then folks can kind of get to know those names too. If you have a need, you can reach out to us. But from the full-time staff includes myself, and then Bob Lingle, who just moved into Sheila's role as the Director of Marketing and Communications. Nicole Ekman, who's been with us for about 6 months, just moved into Bob's position, Director of Membership Development. Stanzi Grady is our Director of Events. And then Nicole's position, we have not filled yet, but that would be another full-time position that kind of anchors the office and provides support to the team.
Are you looking for someone?
It's not posted yet, so I want to take a little bit of time to kind of normalize with new folks in new roles and, see, if we need to update that position description and things before we do. And then we have 2 part-time folks that work for us as kind of engagement coordinators. We've got Dave Kleperick, who
I know Dave.
You know Dave. Everybody knows Dave if you're
we
in
used to work
Dunkirk,
together.
Fredonia, Hanover. Okay. Oh, that's right. He worked for
Bosse's.
Bosse's. But he's affectionately known as the chamberman, I think, in his circles. And then we have Carrie Swanson, who also works part-time for us.
Nice. All right. So it's a pretty big group. All right.
Yeah.
So building bridges, you says one of your missions. What do you mean by building bridges?
Let's see, building connections. Maybe
Connections,
probably
bridges
is
my term.
Yeah, we kind of look at that work of building connections in a couple different ways. First, a lot of business-to-business connections, of course, right? And we facilitate that work through, of course, our networking, the availability of our business directory, and trying to very directly sometimes when members say, "Hey, I need to connect with so-and-so," or "I'm looking for this type of service. Do you have anybody that
Do you have an example of something that really kind of was cool that worked out?
Oh gosh, now that you're putting me on the spot, I know we just talked about this the other day. I can't, off the top of my head,
Just in
specific
general.
company names, I can't think of.
It doesn't have to be
something,
their name. It's just maybe what was the what were they doing?
We have definitely seen situations where somebody comes to one of our networking events, for example, and meets with another local business person. Then all of a sudden, a month or 2 later, we hear that they're doing business together, right? Which is the goal of those events. But that connection piece we also look at as business to consumers, right? And that's, marketing and driving foot traffic are really the biggest challenges, especially that our Main Street local businesses face and tell us that they face. So we're always have an eye on that as well. How can we better connect our community and our consumers with the businesses and the services that are available locally?
So how do you do that?
On the business to consumer side, we obviously have a lot of different foot traffic initiatives that we run throughout the year. Some of that might be event programming, like First Friday, for example, where it's very intentionally a focus on the businesses, right, as the attraction of the event.
So what you're referring to, for instance, in Westfield, they have First Fridays, and they close the streets off, and there's music, and vendors have things, and there's food trucks.
Right.
And it's like a carnival almost. It's lots of fun.
Yeah, but that's like a really good, we've kind of looked at that as a very good chamber event because the feature of the event is the businesses. You know, we may have kind of the guitar man
I've been there. I played for some of those
entertainment,
things.
right?
Yeah.
But it's not like a concert you're going to,
Right.
where
It's
the
just- it's just
music is
part
the
of it
feature,
all.
It's just
Yeah,
part of the
yeah.
ambiance. So that might be one piece of it. We run the Shop Local CHQ gift card program.
We
folks
talk
may be
about that here,
familiar with.
especially at the holidays.
Yeah, and that's a huge time of
Yeah.
year for us, of course. But that's a great opportunity where, as a membership benefit, of course, folks can accept those gift cards if they would like.
Let's do a plug
And-
for it. So how's that work? Let's talk about it.
Sure, let's talk about it.
So CHQ card, what is it, and how do you get one, and how do you use it?
Sure. So that's a gift card. It is a gift card where if you receive that gift card, you have your choice of where you'd like to use it. I think we're up over 165 locations across Chautauqua County where you can use that card.
Okay, so I have somebody gives me a $50. Let's make it up. Chautauqua, what's it called?
Shop Local CHQ.
Shop Local CHQ card, and I want to go out for dinner, and I just look up the list online or something like this.
So each card that's sold, we give, and I think it's on either legal size or 11 by 17 now, based on how many businesses. But we, kind of fold that up, stick the card to the front of that, and
Got it.
put it in the envelope for
Okay.
you to gift somebody. It, of course, can be found easily on our website because if you take the card off, throw that list away,
Yep.
whatever. You can also identify these local places that accept the card because they have a
So
circular
it's like a
decal.
credit card almost.
Yeah, it's more like a Visa gift card, except your gift and your dollars are going to stay local because it's a closed loop system, if that makes sense, where we control who can accept the gift card. So it's only going to be the local businesses that are members of the chamber, and they've said yes, I want to take that gift card. So there's choice built in there, but again, I think it's a nicer way to support the community than, for example, a Visa gift card, or I'll say the A word, the Amazon gift card, because that person's going to use that locally, right? Whether they're a local restaurant, a local
I think
gift
that's
shop,
really cool.
those
I've
types of
had some of
places.
those over the years, and I really like them. And so how do you get one?
So folks can get the cards from us. There's no fee for you to buy a card. That's another nice perk as well. A lot of cards will charge a couple $1 activation fee. And again, the information's on our website, chq.chamber.org, 716-484-1101. You can give us a call.
716, go ahead, 484
484-1101.
1101. So 716-484-1101. So
Or-
you're supposed to say it 3 times. So I got you 3 times.
to get. Thank you for that. And then, or stop in. And obviously from there, we have a little order form. We can make the cards right up right when you stop in.
Okay.
And then we'll get the cards to you.
I live in Ripley. I'm not coming to Jamestown.
That's totally fine. We
So how do I do it?
occasionally get, of course, folks, and especially around the holidays when we have a lot of orders coming in, give us a call, right? We'll facilitate that order, and then one of our friendly faces typically will deliver it to you. We'll meet up, whatever you want to do. If you said, hey,
will they
meet
mail
me-
to you?
So
Try not
we
to,
try
probably.
not to mail just in case, because once a card is activated, of
It's
course,
gone.
somebody can take that.
Right.
But last year, if folks are okay with paying for the postage, we will mail it like certified or whatever, where we know there's tracking,
Gotcha.
and we know that it gets into your hands.
Okay.
So that
It's
is
not
an
that we'll come to
option.
Jamestown. I'm just giving the example of something. I'm not going to,
Absolutely, and like I said, we are typically more than happy to figure something out again. And
Okay. So anybody in the county should be able to get a card.
Absolutely.
And the beauty of it is that it's supporting, I just had that list for the bunny hop. Look at all those businesses were just in the Westfield area. You can use probably some of those, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
And, in this day and age, we're looking at businesses drying up and going away. And you go through some of our towns, you have empty storefronts, and people say, what's going on here? Well, it's because you're not supporting them, And you probably have the statistic, but I think in the business world, what is it, like 75% of all businesses are mom and pop businesses, I think. Is that, I'm in the ballpark or something like that?
I try not to speak to statistics.
Yeah, right.
on
But I
the
mean,
air.
I was shocked by,
Yeah.
because you always think of, businesses being, I'll make them out of pennies and Sears and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you don't realize it's the restaurants, and it's the shoe man, and whatever, supermarkets, and all those little businesses that are out there, and some of them are home businesses right in their homes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of folks, especially after the pandemic, right, that said, I have this hobby that I want to make a business, or I have this idea.
Right,
Now's
right.
the time to try it. And as you said, I mean, we have a lot of folks that that we engage with all the time too, that are kind of that sole proprietor or that
So if
small
somebody
business.
is interested in starting a business, I know you don't help them necessarily start the business, but there's some resources out there, right?
Absolutely, and we try to work very closely with other economic development and business support partners across Chautauqua County. Typically, if you were to say to me, I have this business idea, I want to start it, say, that's awesome, thanks for reaching out to me. I am going to refer you to the Small Business
I would
Development
say
Center.
JCC.
And the Small Business Development Center is really best geared to help somebody from that ideation phase or purchasing a business, that startup portion. They have they're free, they're confidential, so if your idea doesn't
I've
pan
known
out,
people
or,
who've used
right?
them. Yep.
So I typically refer folks there. I mean, obviously, if there's any way we can help, we're happy to
Right.
do so. But we are best geared at the chamber to support somebody from that moment of launch forward. So once you're in business and you're started, you could think of it as the ribbon cutting, right? That's a big thing for us, is ribbon cuttings. From that ribbon cutting moment forward, we try to gear most of our services as supports for running your business and sustaining your business.
And running a business is it's a lot of work. One of my family members runs a business, and she's busy all the time. I mean, it's lots of paperwork and things that you don't even think about. Everybody wants to start a business and they think it's going to be wonderful. It's great for 3 weeks, and all of a sudden reality hits. It's like, holy cow, I didn't know I was supposed to do this and this and this and this. So you really should get educated early on, so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, and like you said, comparing a Main Street mom and pop business to a big corporation, right? People need to realize, our friends and neighbors who are running those businesses, they are not only the owner, but they're probably the accountant, they are the HR director, they are all these different hats that they have to wear. And it's challenging, and that's why organizations like ours exist to try to help.
Do you have like a mentorship or anything like that other businesses might say, hey, we'd like to coach you or help you out? Does that ever happen?
We don't have currently any sort of coaching program, and again, I think we would try to facilitate those connections as we're able through kind of our existing programming, but nothing that's dedicated to say we're going to pair up, mentors and mentees. But that's a good thing to
Think about it.
Yeah.
Well, but you probably do it in a more general way, is just saying, if you're selling widgets, this guy's selling widgets too, but they're different than yours, so you're not in competition. But you might want to, give him a call or something like, or her a call. Right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, you've got lots of events for members and in the public, and you gave me a calendar here. I'm impressed. You got the whole year all laid out. This is pretty incredible. So I would consider that a resource as far as gathering people together. So why don't you talk a little bit about some of those things on your calendar that are coming up, and that I would consider a community resource for everybody and for members.
Sure. Well, as you said first, and I want to give, again, a shout out to our team, and especially Stanzi, who worked painstakingly on this. We had this pretty much ironed out January 1st, and that's been a goal of ours the last couple of years, is to really get our calendar for the next year set before the end of the year. So folks can go, and this is all on our website as well, chqchamber.org. And I think I want to start something again. We were talking about earlier that even though we're a business association, and oftentimes we'll build in a benefit for our members with whether it's a discounted pricing or free attendance, everything we do is really open to anybody. Of course, it's always got that business angle because we're a business association. But if folks see something that they're interested in and they're not even a business person, they're just kind of curious, come join us. The more the merrier. Of course, that's what makes it work. But we have a few different maybe buckets of events, I guess I could talk about, would be a good way, or series of events that we run throughout the year. I already mentioned our business after hours, which are what a lot of people traditionally think of the chamber for, with networking, and those are typically 5 to 6:30. We move those around the county at various locations and provide, some light refreshments with a cash bar if folks want to have a drink or two. And it's really just an opportunity to meet people. We leave about half of that time to be organic networking, and then we always do a quick who's who in the room, we call it, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. We've gone away from the 30-second elevator speech that a lot of people kind of get bored with and tune out of, and we try to ask a branding question. So one of my favorite questions we asked a year or two ago was, if your business was to be a Lucky Charm marshmallow, what shape would represent your business?
Holy cow.
And that was really fun, right? It gets people thinking. It gives you the opportunity to kind of brand your business in a way, right? And then it gives the opportunity, hopefully, for people to follow up afterward and say, hey, what did you mean by that, right? Like, let's connect. So can I ask you right now, if Chautauqua Sunrise was a Lucky Charm marshmallow shape, what shape would
It would probably be like a star.
A star.
Yeah, because it's like, sunrise and astronomical and things like that.
we
I
go.
don't know. What do you think, Justin? What would we be? I don't eat Lucky Charms lately. Pot of gold.
All right, here we go.
All
Good.
right.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
I'm used to that.
So that's one series. We also have a workshop series that we run throughout the year. We call those Business Builder Workshops. We actually have one coming up on Wednesday, the 8th. And that is going to be at the CIED in Dunkirk. Folks can still register if you'd like for that. We try to obviously pay attention throughout the year of what we're hearing from businesses, challenges they're having, or things they want to learn more about, and then of course schedule those topics around that. And our workshop on Wednesday is on company culture, and that's one that is going to be tied in with not only company culture in general and how do you hopefully create a positive company culture, but how that impacts your workforce and your recruitment as well, right? That's a huge challenge that small businesses face. And your culture within the workplace has a lot to do with whether people
And I think a lot of times people don't even realize that they have maybe a less than positive culture because they're so busy doing the business and they forget about the culture. How do we get together? Do we work together? Or all that sort of thing. And
I should mention too, I was talking about the networking, but since we're going to be in your neck of the woods, April 15th, we are going to be at Sensory Smokehouse for our next business afternoon.
That's down the road from me.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
cool.
excited to be out there in a couple weeks, so join us. Every chamber member gets 2 free tickets to every business after hours. Non-members or members above the 2, we just charge $10 to help us cover the costs, so folks can register and join us there.
I'll put it on my calendar as we speak.
Perfect. We appreciate that. We also run an advocacy series of events, which typically take the form of gathering members, right, people who are interested with one of our elected officials to have a question and answer, a good opportunity to talk about policies or issues that are important to them. We have our next one coming up here April 21st, actually. We got a jam-packed 3 weeks here with the State of the County. So that's going to be on Tuesday. It's a breakfast at the Doubletree in Jamestown.
So what do you mean by state of the county? I mean, we always hear the state of the country, but what's the state of the county? What is it?
Yeah, we have traditionally done for many years an event with a county event with our county executive, a state event with our state representatives, and a congressional event with our federal representative. And to try to shake things up, make them a little more interesting this year, we're incorporating each of those events to be the state of, in this case, the county. And back to my county executive days, county executive assistant days, the county executive is always given a state of Chautauqua County, like you said, much like the State of the Union.
Right.
But it's, in my opinion, been a relatively limited audience because it's kind of given during the legislature meeting that month. And depending on hot topics on the agenda, those are either heavily attended or not attended. So this will be an opportunity for the county executive to give the state of the county to a more public audience. And we will follow that up with question and answer like we always have at these events. So we do a written question format. There will be question cards on the table. Folks can fill those out anytime during the event that they might have a question. I'll sit down after the speech with the county executive. Our staff will go around and collect those cards, and then we'll just work through the questions.
Sort of like a Phil Donahue show.
Yeah, sure. We don't
So
avoid the hard questions.
what would he talk about, like taxes and growth and some highlights of some projects that's going on, that type of thing?
Yeah, I think, again, in the past, it hasn't been tied to the state of the county, so it's been more loose as far as just whatever updates the county executive has at that time and whatever questions the audience asks. But I'm excited this year, I think, to start the conversation on a more guided path with that state of the county. So the topics, to some extent, are to be determined until we hear the speech.
Okay, I see something called Third on Third. It's in May. What is that?
Yeah, so that is an event series new that we're trying this year with the support of the Gebby Foundation, and that is a new spin on an event that the Jamestown Renaissance Corporation used to run called Third Thursday. And it's traditionally been kind of a concert series in Winter Garden Plaza downtown. We partnered with Jamestown Renaissance Corporation last year to try to incorporate more local business tie-in and get people moving downtown, shopping and dining before the concert. And this year we're taking that up another notch. It's a little premature to talk about because we're still going through the permit process.
No, but just in general. Yeah.
But our vision is to close off a section of 3rd Street and move the event there, which is going to be a great tie-in with a kind of real strong couple blocks of the business district. And we'll do it kind of similar to a First Friday, right, where it'll be more the street musician type for a period of time. And our programming is going to hopefully incorporate local cultural groups and cultural focus on local arts throughout the summer. So our vision is to, 1 month focus on, visual arts perhaps, to focus on theater in a different month, to focus on dance in a different month, music in a different month. So we're still having those conversations with the local organizations that are tied into that, but we'll see how it goes. We're excited for the first year.
Just as an aside comment, we talk about this quite often in certain circles, but when you think of theater, music, dance, and so forth, Chautauqua County is just blessed with so much talent and people that have left here and gone on to bigger horizons. We're just chock full of musicians and dancers and poets and songwriters and actors and actresses. It's incredible. It's wonderful, especially with Chautauqua Institutions down the road. And we're just great. All right, we're getting down to the last couple minutes. So what else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think just to round out our calendar of the types of events that we run, I would like to mention perhaps our annual Business Awards Banquet. And I especially wanted to just make sure I mention that because sometime this summer we'll launch the nominations, but anyone can nominate a local business that is perhaps doing an exceptional job or celebrating a milestone. Those are the kinds of things we want to celebrate. And again, that's kind of been a pivot along with our mission and our strategic plan to really focus in on how we can promote the business community. So we give away awards like our Business of the Year, of course, is the overall award, but our sort of New Business of the Year or Small Business of the Year, Producer of the Year, they're all kind of business category focused. And we want those nominations, right, to choose from. So, but other than that, I know we're winding up, and I would just say to folks, if you have questions or an interest anytime, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. To say it again, our website, chqchamber.org, 716-484-1101. Anybody on our team, we're all over the county all the time, so we love to chat with people. Obviously, it's a friendly group. And
so you could be a business of one, and it's prorated. Or you could be a business of thousands and it's prorated.
Yeah, so it's more like a menu. It's a different membership tiers. So in that model exactly, someone can select from Main Street 1, which is our entry level tier, all the way up to bronze, gold, platinum.
How many members are in the chamber?
We are just over 900 members countywide.
900? I had no idea it was that many.
In my last 10 seconds here, I'll celebrate. We were recognized last year as the 3rd largest business advocacy group in Western New York by Buffalo Business First, which I think is a big feather in our
congratulations.
In our cap.
Wow. Well, let's keep up the good work. And as I said, let me know what's going on and we'll get it on the air for you. All right, folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest today was Dan Heitzenrater, who's the CEO and president of the Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce. And share this with your friends and neighbors, and you can watch this over and over and over and over again on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook as we speak. And have a great weekend and enjoy Easter and any other holidays that you celebrate this time of year. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now. How do we do?
Thanks, Doc. I hope we do. Okay.